Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to Mord Report the Third, or the Third Mord's Report. That's probably the way I should say it, Third Mord's Report. As you know, this is a quick series that I'd like to do, or I do every month or so, in which I talk about the state of the channel. So I talk about the series which are currently ongoing and my plans for them going forwards. I talk about which series will be stopping, and of course about which series will be coming up in the future, and that is always very, very exciting. The first thing that I need to say about all of this, though, is summer is coming. That sounds weird. It should really be winters. Anyway, yes, so summer is coming, and I need to make preparations for that. It's a bit of a whirlwind summer again for me, unfortunately, with lots of different activities and stuff going on. Some of it holidays, some of it people coming to visit, some of it just not having time to record, is basically what it boils down to. So I'm having to make a schedule of precisely what videos I want to get recorded and when. The reason I'm doing this is because I'd very much like to keep content rolling out even when I'm not physically here able to upload more stuff. So don't worry about that, stuff will continue to come out, your favourite series will continue, hopefully, and everything will be good. The one thing that this will impact is comments. Now, I've always prided myself on being very active in both responding to comments but also using them in the game. So when you have a tip or advice for me, or tips or advice for me, I always try and react to that in the games themselves, and I've been pretty good about this in the past, I think, I hope. And that is the one thing which this is going to impact. So if I'm pre-recording stuff, and I'm talking about pre-recording probably about 30 episodes, unfortunately, I'm going to have much less capacity to do that. That's not to say that you shouldn't comment on these videos anymore, just be aware that when you suggest something, it may be a few episodes in the future when I actually get to react to that. And for your information, the way that I do pre-record these things is every day that I record, I basically do 2 days worth. So I'm basically doing a double duty of recording, which does take me probably about 6 hours a day, I would say, at an estimate. It's a lot of work, but I actually enjoy it. I mean, I'm playing games, so why would I not enjoy this? But that is just to keep you aware. So if you're worried about me not responding to your comments in the games, then I'm sorry, but that's the reason. As to actually responding to your comments in the comments section, no problem. I'll be able to continue doing that. I'm going to have internet access for pretty much the entire time. I'm just not going to have time to record. That is the difference. So I'll still be able to interact with you guys in the comments, and I'm very much looking forward to doing so. That is honestly one of the main highlights about doing this YouTube stuff. I really, really do enjoy discussing the games, talking about them, and just getting as excited as you guys about what's going on on the screen. It's great fun, really. Keep those coming. Okay, so let's talk about the actual series that we're doing. Prophesy of Pendor, obviously, that is the bread and butter of this series. It's the big one. It is part of the reason this channel's growing as quickly as it actually is, and when I last checked we're at 460 subscribers. I was kind of hoping to do the next Mord Report when we hit 500, but I need to get this stuff out of the way. So yes, awesome for everyone who's joined us. Thank you, really, thank you. I'm giving you a double thumbs up, though you obviously can't see that. Prophesy of Pendor, everything is good. I'm really enjoying it, probably more than I was previously, actually. Now that I'm the king, there's just so much more going on. This war with Ravenstern, it's freaking devastating. There's always the pressure of will the Deshar declare war? I don't know. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying that. The politics, the diplomacy, the warfare, the economics, everything. The pressure is mounting, and I love it. So Pendor, no problem. That's fully scheduled in. That's going to continue daily as it has been until now. Simples. Now, I do feel like I've been somewhat doing the Mount and Blade fan base a disservice, because I know there are an awful lot of you watching these videos, and I would kind of like to do a little bit more on Mount and Blade. So I will probably be switching the streams from XCOM 2 to Viking Conquest. It's a module I bought some time ago, and I haven't actually played it yet. And considering my name, Mordred Viking, that would sound like it'd be right up my stream. Yeah, that one. So I am going to be streaming those. However, streams will be more irregular, unfortunately. As my summer gets busier, so do my weekends. So I'm gonna have to just ask you to stay tuned to the announcements, which I always put up on YouTube. I try to get those the day before up on there. and also on Twitter. I'm going to try and remember to talk more about that type of stuff on Twitter now. And you can follow me at Mordred Viking, the @ sign at Mordred Viking. Okay, so that is Viking Conquest. That is coming. Streams will be more regular. They may not always be on a Sunday, depending on what time I actually have to get things done. Right, so let's talk about the other large series on this channel. That is, of course, Europa Universalis 4. I do currently have 3 series ongoing about that, and there will be a few changes to that roster. The single player one, Lord Novgorod the Great, will be going full steam ahead, no problem. That's an easy one to do because it is single player, and it's pretty straightforward. It's not in terms of how it actually runs, because it's one of the most frustrating games I've played. Just because whatever can go wrong seems to be going wrong, but hey, that's all in good fun. The next one is the 2-player game I have with Bussy, which is Trade Wars. That's having a few problems. Namely, there are some pretty serious bugs that have started to rear their head. Namely that both Austria and Poland have both completely stopped moving their armies. Which means Bussy in particular, being allied with both of them, is down 2 very, very strong allies. And those countries are just hemorrhaging territories. So as you may know, we record everything in batches for the multiplayer games. We sit down, we play an entire session, we get maybe 6 episodes out of it. That's usually what we aim for. And we have recorded up to episode 18. After that, I'm not sure if there'll be any more. It somewhat depends on how impacting this bug is. It also depends on how much time I have, and has absolutely nothing to do with how Genoa is actually doing in the game. No, really, I'd be quite happy to continue that challenge. You'll see what I mean. Spoilers. So yeah, Trade Wars is the only one that's a little bit up in the air, which leads me nicely to Clash of the Titans. That is the 3-player game that I have with Bussy and Isiel, where we are playing as France, Castile and England. It is great. I'm really enjoying this game. Like, just the high level, constantly trying to block the other players' actions, trying to make sure that they don't have the ability to follow the usual routes to power and stuff, and just constantly like this strategic maneuvering behind the scenes that's going on. It's fantastic. It's actually quite a popular series too, with a growing viewership. So that's going to continue. The only problem with that one is it is somewhat reliant on Bussy and Isiel's recording schedules for themselves, not just me. So we're going to try and pre-record as much as we possibly can, most likely next week. And then I'll release those as I have been until now. I tend to do those in 6-episode batches, so 6 on then 1 day off, to allow people to catch up, and also to kind of allow me to make sure everything's rendering and uploaded properly, just to give me that extra bit of time. So Clash of the Titans, that's going straight full steam ahead. It may be a little more sporadic in June, just depending on how many videos we have managed to record. I did work out that we would need to do 9 recording sessions to get all the episodes I would need to fill the current schedule, which would be 64 episodes. Whether we get to do that or not, I'm not sure. So like I said, it might be sporadic, or I might just cut off towards the end, and then it will resume in late June, when we all have more time to sit down and do this stuff. Okay, Project Zomboid. You may have noticed that has started doing alternate days with 7 days to die, so it's 1 day of Zomboid, then 7 days, then Zomboid, then 7 days. Part of the reason for that is I'm trying to keep the channel to 4 or 5 series. If I did 7 days separately, that's just too many, it's overwhelming. I just hope it breaks things up a little bit. Zomboid will continue until either I die or until the 9th of May. I'll explain that in a moment. So whichever happens first. And 7 days will probably continue again until the 9th of May, or the 8th of May really. And that is because on the 9th of May there is a brand new game out, which I am super excited for. And that is, of course, Stellaris. For those of you who may not know, Stellaris is made by the same guy as Paradox as did Europa Universalis 4, and it's in a very similar vein to EU4, but it's in space, and it looks phenomenal. Huge, really in depth, really intricate, and it looks spectacular. So I'm super excited about that one. I will be grabbing that one as soon as I've already pre-ordered it. So I will be playing that from the 9th of May, trying to get that up as quickly as I can, and we're going to do the daily single player series from then on. There may also be multiplayer. we'll see. I don't know how well multiplayer will work for Stellaris, because unlike EU4 there's more of a fog of war, so you're not necessarily going to be playing in the same area as other players, which makes it a little less interesting, particularly if they don't have their own channel, as most of my friends do not. It's all through mine. So we'll see about that one. Maybe it will take Trade Wars slot. Not sure. We'll see. Okay, so next game. Warhammer Total War. Out on the 24th of May. This is another really big one. And this one is going to cause me a massive headache, because I am going to be unable to record from the 25th of May. Which gives me precisely one day to record as much as I possibly can, render all of that, and then upload it all, which is gonna be tough. So what I'm thinking is I will probably stream it when I'm playing it first, and then I'll grab all the footage, I'll chop it up, and I'll start uploading it that way. Probably have access to my laptop, so I can keep things kind of ticking over in the background while the earlier stuff is live. But yeah, Warhammer Total War, I'm absolutely going to be doing that. I can say only 4 words about who I'm going to play as. For the Emperor! For Sigma! So there you go, a little bit of a clue. Totally not giving that one away. And then when I get back on the around the 22nd of June, I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to be able to sit down and actually start recording again, but it should be around that point. I'm very much intending to do a multiplayer game. That will be with Tom, who is in the 7 Days to Die Series 2. And he will not shut up about this game. So I am quite serious about that. Super excited about it. He is probably going to be playing as the vampire count, and I think I'll probably give the dwarves a go on that one. Something a bit different. And we're already talking about this, and we'll probably do what I'm kind of dubbing a cold co-op, which basically means that it's co-op, except we do have the possibility of stabbing each other in the back, because I think one of the victory conditions you have to wipe out the other faction. So that's what we're going to do there. Then the final game, which is out in this kind of time period, is Hearts of Iron 4, which is out on the 6th of June, which is of course D-Day. Unfortunately, that is the worst possible day for it to come out for me. I'm just not going to be in a position to record that whatsoever until I get back around the 22nd of June. Well, not so much I get back, but when I get a computer and can sit down and have just time to myself. I'm so looking forward to that. So 22nd of June I will be starting the Hearts of Iron 4 series. That will probably be as Italy, because I absolutely loved playing as Italy in Hearts of Iron 3. It's just a really interesting game, because you can either go Air Force, you can go Navy, or you can go Army, and there's just a lot of possibilities. And you don't quite have the huge pressure on your back as with Germany or Great Britain or any of the other big guys. So Hearts of Iron 4 will be coming to this channel, but not until the 22nd of June, so it will be a couple of weeks after its actual release. Alright, so finally, the other game which is probably the most irregular stars of this channel, and that is of course Crowfall. I love playing this game, I really do. It is a lot of fun, and it seems to get a pretty good following whenever I put out a video. And I have to say, in terms of revenue, it's also pretty good for that, so I'm definitely going to be continuing the Crowfall stuff. I'm going to continue streaming it where I can, and I will try and mention that on Twitter when that's going to go live. But otherwise, please follow me at twitch.tv/MordredViking. Become a follower and you'll get an email whenever I go live on that, and you can like tune in and watch. And of course that's true for when I'm doing the Viking Conquest stuff as well, so you should totally do that, please. I will then put up the videos from Crowfall up onto YouTube. I'll try and make sure that I have them in good quality. I would also very much like to do an introduction to each class. So for example, I'm currently playing mostly as the Ranger. I'd quite like to do a video about the Ranger and the powers the Ranger has, and then maybe do something similar for the others, though that would require me getting a little bit more practice in with those other classes so I can actually understand them and kind of get more of a tab on what those skills are. The final piece of news for Crowfall is they have announced the next module type. So currently we're doing Siege Perilous, which is a siege, obviously hence in the name, where it's got catapults, it's got destructible walls and stuff, and you're basically trying to capture a castle or defend the castle. The next one is Throne Wars, which is introducing some of the more basic economic aspects of the game. The game is of course a MMO, and this is introducing the more economic production, crafting aspects of that. So as far as I understand, you'll be able to build your keep, and you will have to harvest the resources for it, and of course you will have to get the resources for siege weapons to knock down the enemy keeps. There will be three teams rather than just two, and I'm guessing it's like the last man standing type deal. So very excited about that. There is no release date for it yet, as far as I'm aware, so that's going to happen when it happens. However, my ability to record in June is going to be very, very limited, so I'm going to catch it if I can, but no promises on that. As you know, Crowfall, I have access to their test groups. I'm not a tester, but I have access to the testing, and that is entirely down to Artcraft. That's the company making it schedule. They have a test schedule which is every other day or so. They do an hour and a half. It depends on whether I can catch that. Sometimes it's like 3 in the morning, which just can't. Well, I could, but I'd rather not. Okay, so I think that is all the game. So I'm just going to give you a quick summary just so you have the overall idea of what's going on. Prophesy of Pendor and Lord Novgorod the Great. All good. No problems. This is going to go full steam ahead. There's a single player, so I'll be able to get everything recorded now in time. I have it all planned out. I'm being stupidly and uncharacteristically organised about all of this. I just want to make sure that you guys have the best possible stuff going forwards. Project Zomboid and 7 Days to Die are going alternately on alternate days currently, and they will stop either in Zomboid when I die or the 8th of May, which is when Stellaris comes out. That will of course herald in the start of the Stellaris coverage, where I will be doing a single player series at least as a regular daily series, and possibly multiplayer. I'll have to speak to a few people about that one. We don't know just yet. Trade Wars for EU4 is currently bugged, so it's very likely to stop after episode 18. I'm not exactly going to commit to that because we might be able to fix it, or we might just be able to go kind of ignore it and go forwards. But of all the series I'm doing right now, that is the most likely to be dropped. Clash of the Titans, freaking love that series. It's great, really popular. That's going to go forwards. The only thing possibly mitigating how much we can get done on that one is the schedules of Ajul and Bussy. I of course need to keep them in mind, and we'll try and record as much as we can, but it might be a little more intermittent towards the end of my busy time. Or it might just stop until I'm back in recording mode and able to like work on that full time again. Well, almost full time. I do way too much. Streams are likely to, well, streams will switch to Viking Combat, except when they're doing Crowfall, and those will be dedicated Crowfall sessions probably. They may or may not be on Sundays. The next 2 Sundays they definitely won't. The next one, which I will probably do, is the 8th of May, which will be the first Sunday I actually have free. I will do the regular announcements on YouTube, and I will also try and remember to put this stuff on Twitter, so follow me at Mordred Viking. Easy to remember. So I talked about Crowfall streams and footage. It will be irregular, it depends on their schedule. So if you want to catch the Crowfall content, then please do follow me on Twitch TV/Mordred Viking, and you'll get an email whenever I go live on that. In the future, we are going to have Warhammer Total War out on the 24th of June. I will try and record and stream as much as I possibly can on that one day that I actually have to record. And then there's going to be a little bit of a break until the... well, not a break. The content's going to continue rolling out. I'm just not going to be recording anything until the 22nd of June. Sorry, Warhammer Total War is out on the 24th of May, not June. I had the wrong date written down. 24th of May. Then 22nd of June is when normal service will restart. Or thereabouts. It's between the 22nd and the 26th, I think I worked out, is when everything should kind of come back to normality. And after that date, Hearts of Iron 4 new series will also be coming up, quite probably, possibly, with a multiplayer series as well. Anyway, that is enough rambling from me. I think I've given you all the information that I am able to give you right now. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you next time. Goodbye.